I'm out of Ticino. Yes, I'm live because I figured I had nothing else to lose. I've been uploading advice videos to this channel every day for the past week or two. And for the most part, the people who do see those videos appreciate them. They're always shot live on Twitch and then clipped out and uploaded here, if only for archival purposes. It's what I'm best suited for, giving advice, specifically life advice, because any other kind of advice, usually kind of goes completely off the rails. Not as interesting in a grand way, because I'm always giving advice. Always. It's what I've always done. And so I'm going to do more of it. And that's kind of the plan. Oh, look, the notification worked. Sent a notification out on Discord. What is going on with the color? Can you see the temperature changing? I'm sick, but I'm not sick. I'm sick, not sick, sick. I'm whiter than normal. Look at this. What is going on? Oh, I tell you what's going on. I'm here to give advice. What advice can I give you this morning? Life advice. I am here. Life advice. It's a very specific life. The thing that you have outside your world that you're interested in, like life happens. You know what I'm saying? Like Star Wars is not life. I enjoy Star Wars greatly, immensely, but it's not life. I couldn't give you Star Wars advice, at least in this context. I could give Star Wars advice, I suppose, but I'm not necessarily the most qualified. Thank you so much for the super chat. Awesome. Glad you kind of broke the ice there, but I'm serious. I hope you've been watching the videos that I've been doing in much higher quality than this video. The color temperature change video. That's what I know. Just understand that in this room, the temperature changes all the time. So, sometimes I'm warm, sometimes I'm cool. My advice, always spot on. I was giving advice last night. Someone popped into chat and was asking about how to handle a micromanager. That ended up inspiring quite an interesting discussion, and I think I may have solved his problem vicariously. I'll kick things off since everyone here is shy. I've talked around this subject in recent advice videos, and it's something that I've learned to live with. Inevitably, when you are resistant to change and life changes you, you're going to end up in more pain when you don't adapt than if you do. Even if there is immediate pain in adapting to a situation, those situations will often change you, and you'll have no say in the matter, right? Something happens, and it may be a bad thing. It may be a nefarious thing, and then your whole life trajectory changes. But if you're still operating in the past, the way things used to be, well, 10 years ago, I was able to do this. Well, 10 years ago was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I probably had a better webcam. Watch the regular advice videos. The live video is more like, hey, everyone, make sure you see the videos I'm uploading every day onto YouTube, talking about answering questions, giving advice, people asking, and trying to answer, to be able to provide guidance. But living in the past is dangerous. And this is an issue that I ran into with, well, I'm not going to mention who, but I ran into this issue because someone was effectively clinging on to a situation that happened years ago that they recognize is never going to happen again. And they can't let go. And when you can't let go of something, when everything around you is pretty much forced you to let go, it's you that's clinging to something that's never coming back, and you're living in the past. You've got to live in the moment. You've got to plan for the future. And I'm not even saying that nostalgia is all that bad. I love nostalgia. Hell, I'm a vintage kind of geek. So when people see themselves today as the person they were 10 years ago under the circumstances 10 years ago, or are holding on to something firmly rooted in the past that is impacting their present life, that's causing pain. And it may not be a physical pain that it's causing, but emotional turmoil can be just as painful, if not more. I mean, your outlook on life very much influences your life. How you think, how you act, that becomes your world, your beliefs. Everything's tied together. Everything. So I think to reminisce on the past is fine. It's valid. I mean, I do that all the time. It's Saturday morning, I like watching, old cartoons from the 80s, and later on tonight on Twitch, I'll be eating my my cereal, right? I have cereal on the weekends because it's a fun thing to look forward to. And it reminds me of being a kid, eating fun cereal. But not that it's a fun thing, right? I'm not having that moment of eating fun cereal dictate how I live my life. It doesn't revolve around that moment, and my other responsibilities are not impinged upon. I mean, I'm not held back by enjoying that and reminiscing and having fun, re-highlighting that memory over and over and over again, what it was like to be a kid on Saturday morning watching cartoons, eating fun cereal. You kind of need that in your life. But imagine if I could only function, or all of my functions were tied to that bit of nostalgia, being tied to the thing that I can never change, that I enjoyed at that time that's no longer around. If everything halted, if I just threw all responsibilities out the window, all accountability out the window, and my life in my direction was dictated by something that is no longer my life, what kind of life would that be? Now, Lux says, are you talking about your own life experience? Well, yes, in this case, I'm trying to explain to you like the difference between, being nostalgic and enjoying the past versus living in the past and holding on to something that's very clearly changed. Like this is something that I think a lot of individuals have a very difficult time letting go of, right? Like, well, I used to blah, 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 blah. And then they try to relive that. When you try to relive it in such a way that it is impacting your current life, your present, and vicariously your future, it's dangerous. I'm not going to name any specific situation, but there's a situation where an individual was basically not addressing a problem, and when they were addressing this problem, it would take them 10 times longer because they were emotionally attached to this situation in the past that no longer exists, right? And they're trying to control or hold on to, almost bitterly clinging to this thing, because it was like this thing became a part of their identity and they couldn't extricate themselves from that. And in that moment, it's like, what are you doing? Like you can't do that. Your present and your future are suffering because of how you're holding on to the past, how you're perceiving your life back then. And you enjoyed that moment. You enjoyed that time. You enjoyed that experience, but it's impacting your present in a dramatic way. I'm not talking something as simple or as innocuous as eating cereal, right? That's like, I used to, it's like fun, easy, maybe not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's vegan, so it's better than not. That's not the kind of situation I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, I really enjoyed being a child. That was fun, reminiscing. But the last thing I'm going to try to do is become a child again. I will, continue to express my childlike wonder, my explorative, my explorer-esque ideals, very much a very entrepreneurial mindset. That's never going to change, right? I could not change that even if I tried. But those moments in the past, those things in the past, what I had to explain to this person was like, you made memories. You didn't make those physical things. You didn't make that time. You didn't make that that moment. That moment happened. But what you made out of that, what you can hold on to indefinitely, are those memories. And those memories you can always reflect upon and continue to realize that today's reality is not yesterday's reality, will not be the future's reality, apart from if you let it dictate your life by eschewing accountability and responsibility and processing what you need to process to be able to move on. And you know, that idea of moving on is a situation that I see happening everywhere. You know, this is not just a circumstance where one individual couldn't let go of the past. I mean, there are plenty of people, I'm not going to name names, who have a problem letting go of the past, knowing full well that times have changed. Some would say, well, Chris, you know, you used to do these videos. I'm like, I know, but that's the old me. I'm still me, but I'm a me that's been shaped by my modern reality. As much as I may have had experiences in the past, and we've shared those experiences, I'm not going to spend my life living in the past, nor should you. You've got to think about your future, and you got to think about the person you are today and how those experiences shaped you, without necessarily holding on to that and constantly thinking that it's always going to be frozen in time. And a lot of people in social media have that issue. They can't let go. Like, stop treating people like objects. I made this a dedicated advice video the other day, which kind of spoke to my experience as a creator, and certain people thinking, well, and thank you, by the way, is that, let me see if I can read that correctly. The product, I'm sorry, every time I move around here, I should just stop moving, so that way my color temperature stays the same. It's hard for me to see. The Bratakas, thank you so much for the super chat. It's kind of like a tip. Or bits on Twitch. I love those bits on Twitch. I'll be live later today at 6 p.m. Pacific. I even turned on my lights to try to keep the, I'll show you what I'm talking about here, to try to keep the color temperature from going nuts. So I turned on the lights, and maybe that would be, okay, maybe I would have been better. Never mind. No, I'm still changing temperature. Maybe it's slightly better. Not a bad change either. You know, I totally agree. It's something you always have to be cognizant of, especially when you're talking about other people. Don't hold people to the person that they were 10 years ago. Are they still responsible for what happened 10 years ago? Sure. I mean, you can't avoid that, but they're a different person. And that's the problem with a lot of mentality online, especially in relation to individuals. Like, people change. You've got to allow them to, if they want to change, you have to allow them. You're not in control of the individual. And I had someone basically, you know, try to tell me that because of something nice that they did for me, I had to do the thing that they wanted me to do. And I'm like, that sounds like a quid pro quo. And I don't think there's any quid pro quo attached to me. Like, if you do something nice, like, you know, do a super chat in a live video on YouTube, which I'm not inclined to, you know, do over and over and over again. I just figured, okay, Saturday morning, maybe I'll go live to let everybody know I'm uploading a new video to YouTube every day. You can sign up for my email newsletter, although I know a lot of people won't read it. I've got the recap going on. Twitch live every night. I'm still very, very active on Twitter, but YouTube basically buries anything I do. They don't like people to change. They don't like channels to change. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I'm an individual. Sorry, YouTube. I don't care about the algorithm. That's probably my problem. So they were effectively saying, I got you this, I did that, I did this. Therefore, if you don't do what I want you to do, you're the problem. I'm like, time out. I said thank you for all those things. I'm very grateful, but that doesn't mean that I'm suddenly a trained monkey. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm a marionette. I'm not a puppet on the strings to do exactly what you demand 24/7. There's no relationship here, right? I put something out there into the world. You either see it or you don't. You either respond or you don't. You pay attention or you don't. That's it. That's where this particular dynamic begins and ends. And especially if it's in relation to, maybe we may have shared the same interests eons ago, but if you still have that interest and I don't, you've got to respect that. I owe no explanation to anybody. Like, no, at one point in time in the past, you may have enjoyed Cocoa Krispies and now you don't. Well, does that make you a bad person? No. First of all, I have a problem with people describing individuals or themselves as bad people. You may have made a poor decision because Cocoa Krispies are awesome. Although I don't have any today. I've got a chocolate. It's going to be a Timbits weekend. Liz sent, you saw him the other night on the Twitch stream, unless you didn't, the Timbits cereals. So I got some Canadian cereal I got to plow through. And Shreddies, Timbits, the 2 she sent, and then there's another one. Oh, Canuck Crunch. I'm kind of looking forward to that one. All vegan. So there's another example, right? I am vegan. I came out and had a very brief video series. It was like I did like 4 of them, and then I kind of like stopped. I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to hear me talk about being vegan. Maybe they do. Maybe I need to do like a vegan vlog, on a regular basis, if only to become that. But the problem is as an individual, I'm more of a variety streamer on Twitch than I am a YouTuber. I've never been a YouTuber, obviously, clearly. So I at one point ate meat and dairy and cheese, and I enjoyed it. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, it was good. And then I came to a point in my life where I was a little more cognizant, or I should say even more cognizant about what I ate, because I realized very much that my diet would impact my health. And I'm not just talking about losing weight and trying to maintain it. I'm talking specifically, because that's science. It's calories in, calories out. That's what it always boils down to. It's about something deeper than that, right? I needed to ensure that I could minimize my risks for cancer, or minimize my risks for heart disease, or minimize my risk for a myriad of problems, including high cholesterol, things that I was at a risk for. And the high cholesterol thing was the recent change that happened because I took an extra step over the past year to eliminate extraneous oils. And it had a direct impact. For the first time in my life, at 48 years old now, I have a quote unquote normal cholesterol range. So I was heartened by that. I mean, really happy to learn that the decisions that I made impacted my life in that way. But I can't sit here and be sad and reflect upon what my life was before I flipped vegan, because I can't change the past. I can't change that experience. It made me. It shaped that. What my life was in the past shaped me. So I could reminisce and say, "Oh man, I remember chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets. That sounds good." Well, the good news is there are vegan chicken nuggets out there, and they contain probably about as much chicken as quote unquote real chicken nuggets. Which is to say there's no chicken in vegan chicken nuggets, obviously. But it's just one example. I'm saying that I can enjoy bits of the past without necessarily having to change my present or the circumstances that shape my present to be able to move forward into the future. So, I wasn't necessarily planning on dispensing this as a reminder to everybody. But given that there's no one who's really in live chat right now asking for any specific advice, this is exactly what I've been reflecting on over the past week, or at least a couple of experiences that I've had where I've had to respond and explain in one way, shape, or form that it's not okay to do that to another individual. You have to respect that they've changed. You have to, because if not, you're insecure clearly about somebody else's life that has no impact on yours or direct impact on yours. Even if your past has been shared, even if the webcam temperature color keeps changing, though you have ample light. Like, I mean, at certain points I'm blown out, and it's the system that I use specifically when I stream live on YouTube, so I don't have to change my normal high quality camera stuff when I normally stage for Twitch every night, which of course is still going to be happening at some point in the very near future. Give me a second. I'm just catching up on chat here. So interesting comment about community. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. If you are in a community that no longer fits you, then you're no longer in that community. You've already made that decision. You've made that decision. It's no longer a shared interest. It's no longer a shared topic. It'd be like me still being a part of the San Francisco community because I lived there for 2 years. It's not reasonable. Like I can't live in the San Francisco community, right? I'm in Seattle, so I'm more in the Seattle community. Circumstances change. That it doesn't matter if I had 20 friends in San Francisco, right? I can always find new friends. Same thing happens online. Same thing happens with community online. If you're no longer interested in this and people were interested in that and you shared that, doesn't matter. If you've changed as someone who's been a part of that community, you have to move on because clinging to that is not doing anybody any good because you are clearly not a part of that community anymore. You got to kind of have to, all right, well, fine. That's normal. That's how it goes. It's a little more nuanced with the internet because people have a tendency to pigeonhole, right? Well, 2 decades ago you ate chicken nuggets and now you don't. How dare you? My life has changed. I'm different now, as are you, I would hope, because that's a little weird to be the same person you were, 2 decades ago. It's a little strange. I'm sure it's possible, but even the older I get, I do have some things. I'm set in my ways, but I'm constantly changing. We're constantly changing. I'm no longer a part of the quote unquote real chicken nugget community. I'm part of the vegan chicken nugget community, and I'm happier for it. So, it's just a flat fact. So anyway, I just thought I'd drop some live advice to everybody this morning. If you have any other life advice I might be able to provide, feel free to throw it out there right now. I've got some time on my hands, though I was going to make another cup of the Ticino that I've been talking about live on Twitch for the past little while. I haven't really done any dedicated videos. Oh, interesting. Target's got a 25% off Disney Plus annual subscription, but that's not going to work for me because I've already got I'm signed up for the next 2 or 3 years. Your variety style I really like. Your streams is like a surprise box. We never know exactly what we're going to get, yet it's exciting to see what it is. Never dull. Well, thank you. Thank you, Tito. Thank you for that. That's an amazing comment. Thank you for keeping it in context because that's who I am. That's my problem. If I had a problem, I'm too human. That's my problem. I'm not interested in just one thing. I'm interested in a great many things, which is exactly why I like Twitch way more than YouTube. Way more. By far. Dramatically. Twitch is more like I'm more of a live streamer than I am, a video producer. That makes sense, right? I don't do edited videos that well. I'm more of a live person. But remember live.perillo.com, right? That domain still exists. It redirects to Twitch. But Twitch is very much like live.perillo.com. So that does not surprise me. But yeah, that's I'm more variety, but that's my life. That's why I'm it's easy for me to give life advice because I've lived it. Do I know everything? No. I'm an expert in being myself. It's about the only thing I'm an expert in. I feel, at least I feel that way. As much as I would love to be an expert in everything, I can say at a baseline, the one thing that I've done in life is live. And yeah, I'm somewhat hopeful. My goal for 20, well, I guess this next year, my birthday goal is basically to produce an advice video every day, right? Or give a little advice. So when I'm doing the Twitch streams every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, I put the advice in there. I'm also thinking about doing clipping that audio out. That usually this wouldn't work because I don't have music going on in the background in this particular production. But basically clipping that and throwing it into the podcast feed, the old podcast feed, and seeing if that picks up. Because I'm already producing the content, I might as well kind of repurpose it. So I'm not too worried about crossing any lines, at least with work. Because it's very clear. It's this is life advice. People ask a question, I answer the question. Hopefully people are better for it. And I don't know, maybe it'll lead to something else, but I'm very, very happy to be able to do that. Anthony Guidetti, and I apologize if I mispronounce your last name, says, is there anything you worked on in the past that no longer works that you'd like to do today, or are you doing what you want to do in new days? You know, I'm that I'd like to do that I did in the past. No, I pretty much brought a lot of that back. You know, I love toys, so I do toy runs. Love Star Wars, so I enjoy Star Wars. And a lot of collection, building collections, and I've done that. 5 POA, I collect those figures as well, although not completely, not thoroughly. I miss the newsletter, at least being able to write it, but anymore, I'm like, it's just as well serviced to embed the advice video clips that I'm uploading to YouTube. So I'm still doing that. So I try to find, if I find something in my life that I want to kind of bring back, I do it. I don't sit there and think, oh, I'd really miss it, I'd really like to do it. No, I do it. If there's something that I want to do, I do it. I don't keep myself tethered because it's like, man, I wish I could do that again. I'm like, who says that? Like, do it. If you want to do something, freaking do it. Don't sit. What are you waiting for? A personal invitation? So no, there's absolutely nothing at this point in my life that I'm wishing I could bring back that I might not have already brought back into my life. Star Wars figure collecting. I never really stopped collecting Garbage Pail Kids. Eating cereal. There's another example. No, not really. But I mean, it's a fair question, but like I said, I try to bring elements of what I enjoyed about it without actually, because you can't live in the past. You can't bring back the past. It very much, this is kind of full circle to what I was saying before. It's something like, okay, so let's even go as far as Twitch, right? I enjoyed doing the old live stream on Ustream back in the day. That was a lot of fun. The chat and interacting and doing, you never knew what was going to happen. It was, of course, that was a 24/7 live stream. That's never coming back because that's definitely not practical. But at the same time, Twitch afforded me an opportunity that YouTube can't. YouTube sucks at live video. And I'm not saying because the quality sucks. The quality's fine. The live chat is obviously fine, but Twitch is more of a community feel. YouTube is not. Like, a lot of the comments that people are throwing in there, they're not even, a lot of you people who are commenting aren't even paying attention to what I'm laying down. You're not even listening to what I'm saying. You're just commenting. And on Twitch, most of what happens with the live stream is that you're interacting. Like, it's driven by interacting and genuinely taking that conversation and building upon it. That clearly has not happened on YouTube, but that's kind of proving my point. You're illustrating my point entirely. So Twitch and streaming on Twitch has kind of made it fun, and it works because the value of streaming on Twitch is that you've got the entire service is predicated on live streaming. Like, that's it. On YouTube, it's just an option. And if you go live on your YouTube channel, you're probably going to destroy it. But my channel's already destroyed, so I don't care. But on Twitch, it thrives on variety streaming. I'm a variety streamer. Twitch thrives on interactivity. I'm an interactive kind of guy, especially when it comes to video. On Twitch, you've got support like tips and bits and subscriptions. YouTube kind of has the same thing, but people aren't accustomed to that. Like, they're not accustomed to doing that for their creators. They're accustomed to being very passive, maybe leaving a comment, but that's about it. So Twitch, was a way, as soon as I realized, just chatting is a pretty big category. And as soon as I realized, I wanted to do something again like that, I decided pretty clearly, pretty fast, that Twitch would have been the place. And I was right. I believe I was absolutely right. I've met a lot of people that way, if only because of the raids at the end of the streams. Last night, we raided a guy who makes gemstones, like, live on Twitch. It's amazing. Like, I could never do that. I'm 3D printing something right now. It will be, hang on just a second. I'll flip the camera around, and it'll probably be better to do it that way anyway. Sorry. There is what I'm printing right now. Let's get it in focus. This is what is going to be printing and what will complete printing tonight around, well, I guess this will probably, well, it'll end during the live stream. So you've seen the beginning of it. Now you get to see, you will get to see the end of it here pretty soon. So, all right, so that's that. Let's go ahead and flip the video camera around. Oop, not stop video. No. Let's do this. There we go. Back to the color changing me. That's the way I am. You ever meet me in real life? I change colors. This is, and my room does too. We're symbiotic. So yeah, it was a good question, but yeah, if I wanted to do something, I wish I could do something in the past, I bring it back. That's the long and short of it. You got to live your life for the now. You do, but you can't live in the past. I can't say, oh, I wish I could do this again. I wish, because you can wish in one hand and crap in the other. And at the end of the day, what you have is a handful of crap. So stop wishing, start doing. There's more life advice for you. You can sit there and cling to, oh, I remember. It's fun to remember. When it's just you. I remember eating cereal on Saturday mornings. Well, then do it again. Don't do that to another individual. You know, I remember when you were this way, but you've changed, man. Yeah, and you haven't. What's your point? Don't ever tie nostalgia to an individual because their life changes. I have no problem with the way Harrison Ford reacts to people that constantly think that his career is only Star Wars or Indiana Jones. I mean, he's an actor. He's got a great range. Regarding Henry was a fantastic movie, in my humble opinion. Like, easily one of my favorite Harrison Ford films. Blade Runner, I was okay with Blade Runner. I didn't enjoy it as much as other people did, but it is what it is. Either way, because we enjoyed Star Wars, we can't hold Harrison Ford to our bit of nostalgia because he's got it. It's a life. He's got a life. And he's got choices, and he's dynamic, and he's not just these frozen moments in time in the movies, right? In the movies that we might have enjoyed as a kid, or certainly in modern day. This is also the same reason why I don't have a problem with I have a problem with why franchises keep getting reborn or rebooted, because to me it's just trying to recapture nostalgia but doing it the wrong way. But I have no problem like with what Disney's doing with Star Wars, because it's expanding the universe. We're getting new stories. We get more Star Wars in our life, as opposed to trying to make it exactly the way it was back then, because we've changed. Where we were in an emotional state as a child should not be where we are in an emotional state as an adult. And we may miss that in a sense, and we may miss that fun, but there's ways to rekindle it in a healthy way in modern day without necessarily holding everybody to a past that no longer exists, despite what we might feel about those moments in the past. So anyway, I'm here to, I was here to dispense some life advice, and was happy to do it. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening. If you do want, seriously, if you're looking for some advice, I've got a queue of things that I want to address in future videos. I'll be shooting them, of course, live on Twitch, clipping them and putting them on YouTube, where they will go largely unwatched, completely ignored. YouTube will not show you the new videos that I upload. It is what it is. Why do you think I'm paying more attention to Twitch, not so much to YouTube? That may very well change. Maybe I'll crack the nut at some point in the future and everything will be happy hunky-dory. But at least I will say I have done it. No one can say that I haven't done that. And so that's my goal. My goal is to do that. I'm very much in control of that goal. That was, I think, advice that, did I lay that down in an official video? Only set goals that you control, right? Don't set goals contingent on other people's ability to manipulate that goal. Oh, there you go. There's another little nugget for you. Not a chicken nugget or a vegan chicken nugget. I don't know why that became a thing today, but I guess it did. Now I'm hungry for chicken nuggets. I don't have any more. I ate some on my birthday and then didn't get any more. I will be live on Twitch, though, later tonight, as I am every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, uploading videos to this channel every day. You're going to have to manually check and comment because otherwise you won't see them. I do have a newsletter. It's on Substack. I guess I could put the link in the video description, though I'd be shocked if anybody signed up. It's more of a digest of everything you might have missed on YouTube. I'm also on Discord. Got a Discord server sending out updates when a new video gets published. I don't do that for Twitch, though, because Twitch has its own notification system that's not broken. So, yeah, you'll be able to see the finished print tonight live on Twitch. Theoretically, it'll print okay. I got to leave it all day. It's a long print. It's going to be for Jedi. Hopefully she gets a kick out of it, and hopefully it doesn't break. Keep my fingers crossed for a good print. But anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices, and may the force be with you always.